So ADZii BOii, is it fair to say that you became a bit of an internet sensation?
I suppose some might say that. Some people are enjoying the content and some are just in it for the laughs or the trolling, shall we say. But the videos are doing well. I'm happy with that.
And how would you describe your kind of musical style?
Oh God. I don't really fit myself into if I to kind of fit myself into a genre, I'd have to call it like alternative hip hop, even though the rap's like the kind of standard way of rapping and it's not overly auto-tuned singing, like kind of modern rap. And the reason I kind of put myself under that umbrella is just because I like to go in different beats. So you know the pleasure beat, which is like a kind of a piano-y melody thing. Then you've got the reggaeton beat. There's a drill beat on Let's Go. So I just like to vibe with the beat. If I don't vibe with the beat, there's no song. I'm not forcing a song at it.
And what's your background? How did the whole musical journey start?
Truth be told, I've always loved music, right? So when I was young, growing up, like the punk rock, had my mosher phase, had my dance club phase with the, when I was a bit more nerd-like, if you will. But I always enjoyed mixing that on the computer. So remember the old PC DJ stuff? So I used to call myself DJ ADZii, and I like cutting up all the acapellas, looting it. So I always had a notion back then, and I used to tell my mum, I want to be a DJ, I want to be a DJ. Truth be told, I get kind of easily handed a nice job, and it's like once you're in your comfort zone, things change. But the weird thing is, when I started the job, I was still like, when the boss was looking, I was writing rhymes. So, but I suppose it moved on for DJing at about 20 to writing little rhymes. And I'd hide them under my work and keep them in mind. But it was your typical, it's not like the music I make now, it was your typical violent type rhymes or whatever. And I think I always done that working, but I never really done anything with it. And then as I qualified and started working away, when you're working away, you've got a lot of time. And I was looking at, this is going to sound crazy, but I was looking at like American artists, and I was like, he's got 1 million monthly listeners and he's not my taste. If he can do that, I can do that. And that started like playing in my head, and I was using my money for working away and buying beats. But I hadn't rapped. So I ended up with this, hard drivey beats that I owned. And I kind of made the decision in about COVID time, like, I've got to go for it. You've spent all this money. What the hell are you doing? You need to at least get a shot. So I'd say it's always been in me, the music. I just never really had the courage to actually do something with it until I felt like I had no choice really. I'd spent all this money and wanted to get a shot.
So it's just the fact that you made that kind of investment, you're like, I need to do something with this.
And it also helps that when you're getting older, you get more wise and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm a much different person now than I was the 18-year-old me. Even like the 18 to 22-year-old me wouldn't put out the stuff I'm putting out because I'd be embarrassed what people think of me. Whereas now it's like, I actually feel like I'm finally being myself. I'm not trying to fit into this sort of nerd culture or please accept me. I'm tough, I'm just doing my thing. And like you see in the comments, some people won't like it, but what's strange is a lot of people do. And I get a lot of kind messages and stuff like that, in my inbox. So it's been quite, the last 3 months since Promises came out, it's been quite a exciting time, but a real wake up call as well, just to what can happen if you keep trying.
So you think it was the fact that the kind of chains were off and you had a bit of freedom? Is that what kind of, do you think that's what people connect with?
Yeah, so I will just take it back a step. I had to kind of rewire the brain. You hear all these kind of audiobooks, they're real books, but I use audiobooks because I hate reading, right? And I knew I wanted more confidence, and that actually stemmed back to my job, right? Always lacked confidence and stuff. So I'm like a work in progress, you know. I'm probably 2.5 years into this journey of trying to improve myself. And I used to say, oh, I'll do this, and I'd record the video, and then I'd look at it back and go, I'm not posting that. Whereas now it's like, be yourself. People don't like it, doesn't really matter. And you tend to find that even if you're getting slaughtered, there's always a few people that like it. That's your people, you know, and that's all there is to it, really.
And what do you think the ratio is of your viewers that hate it and kind of hate it? You know what I mean? Or should I put it another way, what's the kind of ratio of people who love it and other people who give the kind of negative comments and all that?
Let's be honest, right? Probably now I'd say 9-10 in favour of the hate, right? Simply because they do say that people need to hear a song 7 times to determine if they like it or that. I totally understand. If I pop up on your For You page with a white shirt and my chest out, swaggering about singing a song about, you know what, it's no, your first thought's going to be, who the fuck is this guy and what the fuck is he doing? But the idea of the artist is find a creative, fun way to get the song in front of you, because the old school way of playing the beat with the cover art doesn't work anymore. Nobody's attention's looking at that cover art and listening to the song. You need to get their attention through the video. See, when they've seen 6 or 7, that's when, not everybody, but you'll start swaying a few, and you'll start swaying a few, and the ones that maybe don't like that song, they'll still be about for the next one, and they might go, damn, that's stuck in my head. So just about being persistent, and really you're doing it for you, but you know that the wave's going to kind of capture a few of them, if you know what I mean.
Another thing is as well, it's usually the haters that are the loudest voices. So you're saying it's 9-10 in favour of the haters, but you never know, there's probably a whole mass of people that are just lurking in the background to actually do appreciate it, but they're not the ones that leave in comments. And
I feel the exact same way. I don't know if I'm doing myself a misjustice saying 9-10, right? But it'll please a few people, so we'll run with it. But I feel the same way. Like, it doesn't bother me that the people that don't like it don't comment, because you'll see comments and it'll be people going, "Look, everybody in here hates your music, you should stop." And you're going, but there's 1,000 likes in the video, mate. That's 1,000 people that like what I've done, whether it's the content, whether it's the music. So, you know, I just, sometimes the people that comment surprise me, you know, where their head's at, to put it nicely. But aye, it doesn't bother me. What I have saw recently is a few comments like, oh, this guy's swayed me, or, you know, I never thought I'd like this guy, but he's converted me into a follower, stuff along those lines. That's what every artist ought to do. And you're crazy if you think that you'll put out one song and, you know, you'll be, you know, headline and transmit. You know, everything takes effort. So that's what we're all trying to do as artists. We're just trying to be consistent. But I also think what's important for me now is to show my true colours, which I've started doing. Like I say, I used to make a video, watch it back, delete it. There wasn't really Adam. There wasn't me just sharing my fruit fast. There wasn't me sharing anything. Whereas now, just try to like show what I'm all about, because it's fine having the music, but I know that a lot of people want to know the person, so I've improved in that game as well.
So you're building up a kind of connection with the audience, or seeing the human side of you.
Yeah, and it's amazing the amount of them that do reach out, and you end up with like I can't say friendship, but I talk to some more than others, and there's a couple of like young lads that commenting a lot of my stories, and I'll start watching their stories and I'm commenting back, and we'll have a great weekend and stuff. And you know, without trying to sound miserable, it's not like I had millions of friends before this, you know. There's people I knew from school and all that, but I could probably count my friends or close friends in one, maybe 2 hands, you know. Whereas now it feels like, you know, again, I can't really call them friends, but these people are really nice to me, and it's appreciated, you know, it's really appreciated. It's really nice to feel welcome and that, so it's been interesting.
And would it be fair to say that sometimes you're playing a character? Would that be
in modern times, yes.
Yeah.
What I mean by that was, like, so the Pleasure Beach videos, let's start with that. That is kind of the persona now. So you'll get, you know, Eminem, Slim Shady. I work with a guy, Aidan, from my social media, and he's brilliant, right? And we brainstormed some ideas, and long story short, I had Promise in the archives. That's not even recorded this year, that was 2023, and released that, but I felt like it was running its course and I needed to do something before I went on to the next single, which we've just recorded. Now, given that I never really promoted any of my other songs properly, there was an option to pick any song, but Pleasure Beach done well organically through the Promise promo, and speaking to him, we both decided that it makes sense to go with that. Why don't you bring out Shagga as this character, and, you know, we'll have some fun with it. And I was so glad that he said that, because I wouldn't be comfortable really making it me. You know, a lot of your raps and stuff, they're structured around about stuff you've done in your life, so I'm not necessarily proud of it, but when I was young, I kind of had a bad relationship and I was like, nah, I'm not doing that for a while, and I just enjoyed myself. So it's in there somewhere, so of course I can rap about it, but it's not me right now. So to make a persona out of it and be able to have some fun with it makes it much more enjoyable for me, and it's easier for me to do. So it's been a good laugh doing the Pleasure Beach. Just for a bit of clarity, the ADZii BOii Promise song, that's more, like I say, you write a song in the moment, but that's more for the heart, you know what I mean.
And going back to when you mentioned the haters, do you think maybe part of that comes from the fact that they take you too seriously sometimes? They maybe can't quite see that it's a kind of persona you're playing at times?
We can't worry ourselves about it, but yeah, like, not just, so many people are too highly strung and they're not enjoying life, and you're spot on. They can't see the fun side of it. I mean, I've went for one set of abuse for Promise to a total different set of abuse, and you know, sometimes you think if you'd done a bit of digging, you'd see that your comment doesn't really make sense. But listen, there's no helping people that don't want help, so they need to find their own way in life. I just let them get on with it. But you're certainly right that some people don't see that you're having fun. I'd go as far to say they don't want you to have fun, but that's just, other people love it.
Yeah.
So you know what, I could spend all day in the comment section, but I don't want to put out the wrong vibe either. You know, I'm trying to send these positive signals to the universe. I can't even bring myself down to that negative level all the time. I'll respond to one or two just for the algorithm, but realistically, you know, I just need to vibe with the people in there that enjoy it. That's the main thing. That the people say what they want to say, that they're entitled just as much as me to say and have an opinion. That's absolutely fine. I've not deleted a single comment, but that's the reason that I don't really interact with them, because it's just no good for my energy.
And do you play any live gigs at all?
I do. This is, oh my god, mate, I could talk all day, couldn't I? I've done 10 gigs, right? So I've been very lucky to be invited to play 10 times, but I've not performed for a year. Yep, I think it was July 2024. Now, the boy that invited me to like 4 of the gigs, he did say he was going to take a wee step back. Shout out John, because he's gave me a lot of opportunity to improve my performance. Certainly watching the first video to the 10th, you see a massive improvement, stage presence and all that. But he was taking a wee step back, that's fine. I had my own issues, which we might dive into separately. So I kinda said, you know what, same, I'm going to look at my content side and figure out how I'm going to improve my content. And I'd say last year I did improve it towards the end of the year. Like I took an old song called It's Party Time, I made some content in the house, and some of that was getting organically like 40,000 views. And then you look at it now, some of it's getting nearly 200,000 views. So my task complete. I feel like I've achieved my goal, I've improved my content. But yeah, I have been thinking about getting back into it. People have been writing in the comments, when's your next gig? I fully intend to reply to one of the comments, and I've been lucky. People have messaged me, would you be interested in playing at the gig? I'm like, aye, let's do it. So if I don't get a slot soon, I'll probably put on my first ever show soon, because I love performing more than anything else, right? But it's been a while, so yes, I do live gigs, and yes, I'm hoping to get back into them after the summer. Aye, can't wait, I love it.
And do you have a kind of end game, like, you know, I don't want to say do you have a 5-year plan, but do you have like a kind of end goal in mind where you'd like to be?
Not right now. I'm very, my opinion on music and stuff is you can outstay your welcome. But that being said, people that criticise these rappers that have been about for years, you go into their Spotify, they still get 60 million. You know, why would they stop? I've still got 60, I'm still rolling though. So anyway, one day maybe. My dream now is to perform in front of as many people as possible. So obviously the content and that, it might help get Spotify listeners and that, but that's my dream right now, is how big a crowd can I perform in. And if I had to say what is the goal then, I mean, if I could honestly have everything my way, I'd reach the transmit level, probably even like headlining it or close to it. And then if I had enough fans and followers, bow out with like a sort of Hampden sort of kind of venue. But it's all about performing for me, mate. People don't know this because I've not performed in a year, but the best thing about it is jumping about that stage and then getting people singing Pleasure Beach Party. I swear to God, I've got a video, I'm going to dig it out and repost it. But it's just, for me, there's no better feeling, than being on that stage. It's incredible.
You could be like one of these, like Rod Stewart, some 50 years time performing Pleasure Beach through like.
Do you know, it's funny because I said a minute ago about do what outstay my welcome, but then in all honesty, if music's what you're all about, what you're going to do, just hang up the mic and sit about your house doing nothing? Don't know, I don't blame Rod Stewart for still enjoying himself. I don't know the story with his most recent stuff. I saw it pop up, but I never read it. But aye, good on him. Like, I kind of almost want to retract my last statement because I don't know. Clearly I don't know how I feel about the future. For me, it is, the goal now is, how do I get on these big stages? How do I get to perform? Well, I know the answer to one is prove that you get people that will come. So that's the goal. That's how content creating was so important. Just going back to that last point, you can dream and dream and dream about performing on a big stage, but if you can't show people that people turn up, you're not going to get that opportunity. It's on you, it's not on they. It's not the people putting the gig on to bring the crowd. You have to show them why you deserve a slot. So that's the goal right now, mate. How big a crowd can we do? Oh, look at me smiling, I'm excited.
And we were kind of saying, talking off camera, saying sometimes it's not always good to have a plan as such. Sometimes it's good just to let things kind of run organically and just see how it takes you. So the route to your success might be not to plan too much, just takes you.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think I was also listening to an audiobook today, the courage to be disliked, and I think it finishes with that. It finishes with you don't need to plan too much. Don't live in the past, but don't plan for the future, live in the here and now. And obviously we all agree with it, but you feel like we have to plan a little bit, like you had to plan for me to be here just to do the video. But I tend to agree that if I structure too much, if I don't hit targets, I'll start getting annoyed and my vibration will be wrong. And yeah, you need to just go with the flow for 90% of it. Have an idea of what you want to do. For me, the content videos, jot some ideas down, but don't beat yourself up. Because I think there was a point where if I never recorded all the videos I planned to at the weekend, I was a bit annoyed. But I've got a family and I need to put them first. So realistically, the best thing you can do is be happy and positive and just stay consistent, and everything should come together.
And touching on the recording, just give us an idea how many hours would go into something like Pleasure Beach, for example?
So, all the music out to date, including Promise, because that was made, my previous audio engineer, he stopped doing the music, or I don't want to do a misjustice because he might be doing it, but he was too busy with his other workload, because he also edits a lot of videos and stuff like that. So working with him, the deal was kind of an hour a song and 3 revisions. So I would go to the studio, would maybe have an hour to record Pleasure Beach, so I'd kind of need to know what I was wanting to do. So I'd have it all written out, I'd know my ad-libs, I'd know my backing vocals, and we'd get it recorded, I'd go away and he'd mix it. So I couldn't really put a time on the mix, but I would only get 3 chances to say change this, change this, change this. I just get back to the studio last Friday and I'm now working with 1250, and it was a different experience. It was like, I was kind of like, oh guys, look, we're running behind, and I thought this is your hourly rate. It was like, oh, we're chill, like, we're here to get this right. And that's not to say the other guy wasn't getting it right, it's just the vibe I got. So we done a song and then we went to Greg's and then we walked back, and and it was like, I think I was there like 4.5 hours. So that's an extra 2.5 hours for the same amount of work. So it was a different experience, and there was more brainstorming on the spot. I tried something, Leigh liked it, do it again. I tried something, I don't think that's quite right. I never got that in my early days, but in credit to my old engineer, I never had that experience either. So I did get some input. They could maybe say go harder here, but it was just a bit different. So I'd now say that a song it'll take as long as it takes. Working with 1250, it would have been an hour per song up until this point, but going forward, a song will take as long as it takes. That's probably the best way to answer your question.
And tell us about the kind of writing process. Do you have like a kind of structure, or just one of those ones where it just pops into your head and you write it down? And
I've spoke about this story before, right? And it's quite weird. So I mentioned that I work. Did I mention I work in engineering? So I travel. I think I mentioned I travel.
Yeah.
I think all bar 3 or 4 of my songs I've wrote on a plane. And I don't really know why. I know that I never used to like flying, so and I knew that I'd have a lot of time in the air. Like if I was working in South Korea, it's 3 flights and one of them's 10.5 hours. So a lot of the time I just find a producer. That's a lie. A lot of the time the beats find me because the producer reaches out to me and then I give them a chance. I might fill my inbox saying that, right? But I then listen to their music. I'll fill my phone with like 100 songs, and as I'm on that plane, it's kind of like, nah, that doesn't, nothing coming, next beat. Nah, nothing coming, next beat. promise I'll lay here. And I've almost like wrote the structure of the song on a kind of 1 or 2 listens, and that's how I tend to write a song. I'll listen to the beat and I'll kind of know instantly. I'll start getting the words. I'll maybe tidy it up, in my house, so it's not finished on the plane, but I've got that full structure, and it really is, what does that beat bring out of me, rather than how clever am I to, if somebody sent me, even if it was the feature, I think I'd listen to the song, and if the words never started flowing, I'd be like, listen, it's not for me, I'm sorry, because I don't want to ruin your song. Whereas if I've had 2 features and both times I put the song on, I heard their bit and instantly I was like, God, I've wrote that in 20 minutes. It just came out, So strangely, a lot of my songs are written in the sky.
It's a strange one.
It is. I've not been travelling as much recently, so that'll need to change. But that's my previous story. A lot of my writing was in the sky. I've got I think 24 songs, so that means 20 of them was at least started in the sky and maybe finished when I worked away. Because bear in mind, when you work away, you've got a lot of free time. Unless you like to go to the pub, right? There's a lot of people that will just go to the pub every night, but I don't enjoy working rough. So I've got a lot of free time, so I might have started 6 or 7 different songs in the plane and might have finished them over in that country before I get home, and then I'm writing different ones flying back.
And obviously in 2025, a big part of being any kind of artist is all your kind of social media and that kind of stuff. Do you enjoy the whole social media aspect? I know we talked about people's thoughts and stuff, but just in terms of the actual kind of production of it and posting and all that kind of stuff.
It's funny because I feel like this is structured quite well unintentionally, because I can keep referring back to older things that we spoke about. Part of me, I had to rewire myself to enjoy it. I hated it, and I think you'll get that with most artists, because you're actually vulnerable. You're putting yourself in front of the full world to get slaughtered, a bit like people have seen if they want to look at my videos, that is. So a lot of people don't want to do the videos, and it's a big step up even to do a lip sync video where there's not a funny gimmick to hook you. It really does. So when I started this, I hated it so much because I didn't have a personal. I had it, but I didn't use it. I didn't post. Self-conscious, really. Nervous, even though it was all people I knew. I can't post. I used to even say to my missus, I'd try and rope her in and go, can you do my interaction for me? And she's like, I don't know what to do or who to talk to. I was like, I hate it. So no, I've not always enjoyed it. But through everything that I've been learning to improve myself, it's like, if you're going to do something, you need to learn to enjoy it. There's no point going to the gym if you hate it. You know what I mean? So it's the same with that, and I've grew to love it now. But obviously with the videos I'm making and that, I'm going to enjoy it. Before that, it was just cutting up music videos, and I just felt like that wasn't doing well enough. I was seeing other content out there, and I realised that's what I want, and I was actually speaking to other people considering moving who I was working with. But then I had to sit down with my guy Aidan, and I was like, look, this is the route I need to go. And it's not that he'd refused, it just we were just talking about doing other things, and he's like, right, okay, let's see what we can do. And now I've started creating the video where, I don't know if you've seen it, but in Promise, my miss, he's like, throws the flip flop. I catch it and I sing into it. I laugh writing the idea down, you know what I mean? So he actually edit the video and make it look half decent, because let's be honest, right, I'm not a video editor, so I'm happy with how that turned out. I love it. It's all part of it now. You can't be a music artist in modern times and not be a social media presence. So my top tip to the artists would be, even if you hate it, you need to grow to love making the content, because that's the only way you'll grow to where you want to be.
And you did touch upon your partner. She fully on board with your journey?
Yeah, I could understand people thinking otherwise, especially with Pleasure Beach, but we'll come back to that. With Promise, it's like, it was more a mental health song, but I don't know if everybody caught the drift, because a lot of people will see a 20-second snippet and they'll make a call on that 20-second snippet. So I done a poll how many people knew it was a mental health song, and I think it was like 50 or 60%. The other people didn't know. I think a lot of people thought it was a "I've cheated on you, sorry" type song. But she's on board, and so much so, like, it surprised me. But I'm so, like, lucky to have her. And it's funny because we done the Promise video, in credit to Aidan, right? So the video of us arguing was his idea. He's like, why don't you have an argument and transition it to you singing it to her? It's like, alright, okay. She was like game for all that, and she was in the music video, which helped me, because I don't think I would have enjoyed singing to an actress. I know it's their job, but I'm not an actor as such. Yeah. So, you know, I think she done amazing. We got that video, then she helped with the content. That's out of her time. Then we moved on to Pleasure Beach, and Aidan's like, "Think your missus will be able to help you with this?" I was like, "Well, I don't think so, mate." Like, I don't know how that would even work. Well, you know, we could make this character like we spoke about earlier, and she could almost, like, instead of being play a date for Shagger. And I spoke to her, kinda fearing the worst. Like, look, if you're not comfortable, she's like, "No, I'm game. That's fine with me." It's like, brilliant. So I think I've only posted one so far, where you don't actually see her, but she's behind the camera and she talks, "Excuse me, what you doing?" But there's a few that she plays big roles in. She's got her face on the camera again, interacting with this Shagger persona. So I'm blessed to have her on my side. She knows what music's about. It's a bit like a movie.
Yeah.
I think people listen to your music and they make a judgment, or like a dick or whatever. Not everybody that made like a horror movie with a killer is a killer. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's the same with music. You can have some fun with it, and she sees that. She knows that just because he's rapping this doesn't mean that he's that way anymore. And I think she's enjoying the ride just as much. Doesn't go into the comment level, but I think that's best. I made the mistake once of saying, "Oh, look what people are saying about Promise," and I could tell she was a wee bit like, you know, oh no, you know. I was like, oh, okay, fine. I've put a tough shell on me, but I'm forgetting that you maybe not done the same stuff for you. So I was like, listen, don't you worry about it. I'll show you the funny comments, but I'll shelter you for anything else. So no, I'm lucky, mate. Very lucky. She is fantastic. Shout out Jodie.
Couldn't do it without her.
Couldn't do it without her. And that goes in every aspect. Like, I'll run ideas by her. I done a video, I don't think it was music related, but I done a video, what the hell was it? Can't remember, but I done a video reply to somebody, and I was like, a bit like the old me was coming out. Oh no, is this, people got to laugh, and I showed her it and she laughed, and she was like, listen, that's you, just post it. Yeah. Who cares what people think, you know? So she encourages me to be myself, which is important as well.
Anything else you want to touch on that I haven't covered? I just want to say thanks to everybody that is interacting. I'm very grateful for so many people that have, as I said earlier, reached out to me. It feels like I've made new friends, you know. There's people like, you know, I need to play it safe, right? There's people kinda, you know, I'd go as far to say, you know,
meet up and that, and I'm sure at times I will, but you know, there feels like friends in there. People send me videos of them singing the songs at parties and stuff. So to everybody that is reaching out to me, thank you, because it encourages me. You know, I grow in confidence just knowing people are enjoying it, and it is easy for everyone to be like, oh, look at all that hate in the comments, I'm not getting involved. I don't want people to slag me by being nice in the comments, but see the DMs, they mean just as much to me. So thanks to everyone that reaches out, but that's not to say if you don't reach out, I'm not grateful. Everyone that streams the song, you know, watches the music video, I'm grateful to all of yous, and I can only hope that I can keep making music that you enjoy. So the journey's back on. I was in the recording studio last week. I hope to get another single out within 6 or 7 weeks. Music video, the full works, and as we spoke about earlier, let's get back on stage. Let's get a performance going. We need to do it now. You know, there's people want to come. The hype's there now, so that's on me. But let's get something sorted. Let's let everybody come see ADZii BOii on stage and see what we're really about, because it's where the real energy is. On stage, everybody singing. It's a great night, honestly.
Well, that's a good positive note to end on, and I'm sure we'll hear a lot more from you in the future.
Yep,
so
no.
Thanks for coming on.
And thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Indeed.